Welcome back to the Warp Legacy office. So we are finally going to get back to that Makita angle grinder. I wanted to give this thing a pretty good beating before I let you know how it actually worked, and I am very happy with the results once I actually got one that worked, that is. That first one, there was a manufacturing problem with it, and it was just a bad unit. That's all it was. The second one I got has been great. I don't know how much grinding and cutting and using the wire wheel and all of that. I have done a ton of stuff with this thing. I did try to use that masonry blade. If you had a few mishaps where the blade grabbed and chucked up and the blade stopped pretty quickly. This thing has gone through some hard use, and it still runs just as buttery as when I first opened it. To the point where it's actually kind of odd how smooth this thing runs. You almost forget how dangerous it is because it feels so easy to handle. As I was making this cut, I didn't give it a second thought when I made it, but now looking back, I cringe every time I see this shot. I'm supporting it on a swinging door in the wind. I'm holding it with one hand and cutting it with the other. This was just plain stupid. At some point I realized a little bit how stupid it was and go get some gloves, so it's slightly less stupid, but basically this thing is just so smooth and controllable. I felt completely comfortable while I was making this cut, even though I shouldn't have been doing it. Now, I did say I tried the masonry blade on steel. It didn't work too bad. It made a pretty wide cut, and that wasn't all that great. It made the grinder work a little harder than it should have, and I absolutely would not use this regularly for cutting metal, but if it was the only blade I had and I had to make a cut, I wouldn't hesitate to grab it if it needed to be done. Now, the real winner here is actually this rigid metal cutting diamond blade. I have used this thing for a ton more than I expected to be able to. I've cut a few hundred cuts through 3/8 square stock and a lot of other stuff that's similar size to that. I've cut a few times through a 1-inch solid square stock. I've cut through a piece of scrap that's about 2 inches by 3/4 inch or something like that, and that was a very, very hard steel, and this thing had no problem going through it. I've used it on a bunch of sheet metal. I don't know what all I've done with this thing, and I bought two, and I'm still on the first disc. And the only reason this second disc is open is because in the box it had a little ring in here so you could put it on a smaller size tool. And I wanted to use that ring as a shim in a different project. And that's the only reason the second wheel's open. This thing has lasted way longer than I expected. I'm not sure how much longer it's gonna last. It's getting a little bit slower now, but this thing is great. And now, onto the case. The case, it is definitely not bulletproof. It'll hold up quite a bit, and it will absolutely protect the tool. There's a bunch of foam inside. The foam alone would protect the tool. I would feel perfectly comfortable throwing this thing across the yard and having the tool be safe. The case itself, while it feels pretty solid, it also feels like it would be easy to damage the outside of the case. I haven't put it through any tests, so I may be completely wrong on that. This is just an opinion based on how the case feels. It will definitely protect the tool. I don't know how well it'll protect itself. Now, the biggest complaint that I actually have about this case is that you can't put the tool in the case when the handle's on it. You have to take the handle off to put it in the case, and that is just very annoying, and I don't like it. But there's nothing I can do about it. And that's actually the biggest complaint I have about the entire tool, is that I have to take the handle off to put it in the case. Everything else has been great since I got one that actually worked. And when I did the unboxing, I looked it up, and the price at that point between the one with the case and the one without a case was a $10 difference. The one without the case was $69 and the one with the case was $79. Now they're the exact same price. I have no idea why, but the one without the case on Amazon and at Home Depot is $79. The one with the case is $79. So there's absolutely no point in buying the one without the case because there's zero price difference.
Thank you for visiting Warp Legacy. If you got some value out of this video, please let me know in the comments and hit that like button. Or you can share it and let somebody else know. And if you want to see more of my videos, you can subscribe and click that bell to get notifications. Thanks for visiting. I'll see you next time.